A very warm welcome to all the viewers of Coffee with Tom Times of Manipur. Today, this morning, we have a very special guest, and he is a lecturer and assistant director of education in Harvard University, Cambridge, United States of America. He is Dr. Dominic Mao. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you for the invitation.
And how do you feel about Times of Manipur, which is the first satellite TV channel in the state?
I came to know about the Times of Manipur and the Lamjingba group only after I established my program, but we can talk about that later. But I'm really happy to learn that things are progressing and people are getting on board the latest technology.
Thank you very much. That's a compliment and encouragement at the same time. Doctor, we would like to hear you speaking Manipuri.
Okay.
I understand that you are from China and you are presently serving in the Harvard University.
Okay.
Tell us something about your background.
Yes. So let me correct you a little bit over there.
Okay.
Manipur the Poli. I'm not from China.
Okay.
I Manipur Dani. I Manipur the Poli. I see the sorry. I class 10 bo metric Don Bosco the guitar. I nursery the Don Bosco the tame metric thare and I na dinner kwa imanaba meam. All the locals, they're still my best friends. I still have a lot of connections. So Manipur is one of the places I call home. So I'm not from China. My parents are Chinese.
Okay.
We had one family in Manipur. It was the only Chinese family. Okay. And my grandparents migrated. China, this is pre-Indian independence. When I migrated, so akoy baga akoy ma animak Chinese ni akoy ba su si the Polai. Akoy grandparents na migrated pa. Akoy ma na Gujarat the pok pa.
I see.
Hoy ay pok pa sarap pa di Manipur da.
Okay, that's quite interesting and quite surprising at the same time. So it's an honor to have you here, Dr. Mao, because akoigi mapanda akoigi brain drain haigadra akoigi successful loiba mai pak loba akoigi diaspora mayam leri mapanda aduga they do come back, but they do not. I don't really think there are lots of projects that they have taken up in Manipur for the development in education and other fields in Manipur. Adu si matang sida, are you taking some kind of no, how do you feel about how is homecoming?
So yes, there's two different questions. Homecoming, me landing in Manipur.
Yes. After a long time.
As soon as I land at the airport, thamoy ing bahay gadra. Yum Europe pagi wakan kan nungay bado. Adu di pawe airport hek yobaga. Adagi imanaba mayam loi unaba lakba khotpa adudi yam nungai aduga ai hujik imanaba amgi aina nursery dagi dinner pa imanaba gi mayum da lei akoi makoi imung da angang oring dagi chak saminaba khominaba mai mama mapa da aina ima pabung adum kawi. So homecoming feels exactly like that. It feels like I'm coming home. Like I've never left.
That's beautiful.
So I feel very comfortable when I'm here.
That's beautiful.
As far as the question of diaspora and people coming in, I think that people are doing what they can.
Yes.
I think there is a time and place for everything. Me na mapan sakhibido opportunities thina bachat pane, and when they find opportunities, individual lama oina grow. Taunaba Dakar way. And there is this old saying, charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
Right. So you got to establish yourself as an individual. So I'm very optimistic. I know a good number of people who are thinking about it. There's always a little bit of activation energy barrier high gadra. There's a little bit of struggle that people have to overcome, but I know a lot of people who are doing that.
Yes.
And the reason I know that is I've also come to do a program. This is an official Harvard program now.
Okay.
And it's an education outreach program. So when I try to set this up, I network I reach out to Wakanda. I connect to point person it was mobilized relatively easily. Me adum chongthore help to binaba. The intention you just need to make the right connections.
Right.
So it was very helpful. Just the story of how Lamjingba Group became a sponsor for the program that I talked about, the official Harvard program. Program sigi maming program for scientifically inspired leadership.
Okay.
Aduga program sigi topic sina the main concept sina Harvard tagi chhatra je Manipur da puraga Manipur gi chhatra singa interact tauba. Manipur gi chhatra singa they teach the students. Okay. So in a way I'm trying to bring the classroom of Harvard to Manipur.
That's very interesting and very innovative, and I am sure that this has never happened in the history of Manipur before. There might have been some other classes in the field of dance and art and culture, but I don't really think a group of students from Harvard University have ever come to the state to exchange thoughts. So I think this is a very innovative idea, and I would like to wish very good luck for this project.
Thank you.
We would like to know project what are the objectives of this project, and what else are there in the pipeline after this project?
Right. So, Harvard way, the primary duty is education. As part of my job as a teacher, I always try to think, how can students learn better? Right?
That's very nice.
And everywhere that I've taught in many different cultures, in many different places, including in India.
I see.
And what I've seen is the students are same everywhere. Chhatra Singh, their young minds, they are very enthusiastic. They're very optimistic.
Right.
And wherever in the world you go, the kids are always interested in learning. So I don't believe it when people say that kids are not interested. No, they are interested. Akoina delivered the ngamba ngamdaba adu the pure as educators, right?
Right.
And what aina si program designed ta was hoi customized the way for Manipur, but it idea di ano banate. Ko Harvard tried and tested model ne se. You mix different groups of students, they will learn from each other. See the Harvard programs Harvard ki chhatra si laga, yes, they will be conducting workshops with the local students, but that does not mean that the learning is only one way. Harvard students are getting what we call experiential learning. Akoigi team the yauriba chhatra sing education they am interested way.
Yes.
Education they interested way taragati. The main thing is, how do you deliver to a culturally different crowd? How do you education challenges Harvard ki chhatra sing, they're getting a lot of things back. It is a two-way street, right?
Of course, yes.
Atuga aina some customized work with the programs in Khanba Harvard ki chhatra student body amalera Manipur ki high school students aduna population amalera, and then I thought it would be really nice if we can have teaching assistants that work closely with Harvard students. Then we jointly set up the whole event. And the teaching assistants are college students from Manipur who are interested in becoming teachers themselves.
Okay.
So these are 3 different groups of students that are all excited to learn from each other.
That's
and what I'm doing is just bringing them together.
That's beautiful, and thank you very much. I would like to say on behalf of all the people of Manipur for this joint venture that you are bringing in, and I'm sure that it's going to be a grand success.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the wishes.
So I would like to come to your about your topic, about your career as a topic. we would like to know, our viewers would like to know, a lot of students must be watching the show right now. So they would want to know, how did you landed in Harvard University?
How did I land in Harvard University? I would say the answer is, I went there just the regular way.
Okay.
Right? Now then the question is, what is the regular way?
Right.
There's this thing, you have to knock on the door will not open, right? So I can say that I did my master's in biochemistry in Gujarat. I went for my PhD in the United States. The PhD is University of Cincinnati, molecular genetics. Aduga PhD loiraga a postdoc apply tawe. Postdocs in PhD ki matungda professional training period ne. It's like a job, but you get trained.
I see.
And so temporary position ne. So postdoc I was at Harvard University tawe.
I see.
And aina graduation undergrad bachelor's tamming aida aina larik ta parakpa world famous scientist ka Matthew Meselson haina magi thabak to ayam pamgi aduga aigi science idol haigadra aina sum thamba aduga aina postdoc position thiring aisida magi lab tagi job posting ama thole ada is this the same Matthew Meselson? I apply taure.
I see.
I apply taure. Aina Khanbadi is a big guy, you know, he's a big man in the field, he's a very renowned scientist.
Right.
Yamna strict procedure ama leigadra ma koi recruitment ki aduda, you know, aina di submit tawgadaba taure material da. But you'd be surprised to know that aina submit taure matungda he called me on my cell phone.
I see.
Like, so there are no barriers.
Right.
Once he got my application, he saw that I was interested in the work that he was proposing. And he called me on the phone, and then we were talking, and it was a very natural conversation. We talked about science, and it was just like, mana aina interested oiba topics me amse sini nang kai khalli ideas bounce off the conversation. They are natural way. And then finally he said, why don't you fly down? I was in Cincinnati. He said, why don't you fly down to Boston?
Right.
And let's meet in person. So I chatle my lab joined taure. And after, so I was a postdoc at Harvard, and postdoc loy salam daida aina teaching positions thiba. Aduga teaching positions aina apply tau kanda Harvard ki scientific director habam laiko.
Okay.
Who oversees many things in the department as far as science is concerned.
Okay.
Maga sum what is hanabada? What do you do? It's not like job interview. It's like how you and I are talking. It's very simple, you know. Like she was just asking me, "Nangi future plan kari no." I the interview tori hujek I chatorabne. I might leave by the end of 3 months or something. And she's like, what are you applying for? What are you interested in? I'm interested in teaching. I applied for teaching positions. If you're interested in teaching, why are you applying elsewhere? Why don't you apply at Harvard?
Okay.
I was like, I didn't know there were positions available.
Okay.
Then she told me that there are positions available. Job title though, Kenarambayai. You have to look at the description.
Okay.
So
I see.
So then she made me aware of certain positions. I applied, and then I got the job. And so it's relatively simple.
I see.
You just have to venture out, and you have to look, and you have to ask, you have to make connections.
Right.
That's also one of the reasons why I want to make all the students meet each other, because you start making those connections now.
Right.
So after this program, these 60 students that we're going to have from high school.
I didn't know it's 60. It was. It's a huge number.
Yes.
It's a huge number.
It
can
students.
Be a complete school. Over here in some of the primary schools, there are not very much students studying. So in connection to that, with respect to that, 60 is a great number.
Yeah, no,
So
we're really excited. The idea is also that akoina programs run taure. If there are enthusiastic people, they can come back and they can serve as teaching assistants. They can be involved in the program next year.
That's very nice.
And that way, the participants can directly then apply their skills and they can, So, my ideal situation would be, let's say, Chahiyama, we cannot come for some reason. If the teaching assistants can run the program on their own, that means my job is done.
Right.
That means I was successful in what I was trying to do.
Yes, and you can take up another project.
Yes. Maybe, yes.
You need to be free yourself in order to take another job.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. So we have a lot of other conversations in the pipeline, but then let's take a small break. We have a lot to talk about. Stay tuned.
Yapote lobu zakharaba natro
Zakharima
aduidi cha injang du loisanaba tawrodana
Bishondubu totpa lorabadi injangi thawraga lorabane adu ima dukandagi bishondugo machanduga leibiruragera
hoi ima lobirurage bungo besolamaga masalamaga dapi
ne kanglipagi spices industry gi production lobiron iramdong gi posu oire potjan ju yaudre chang ju soktre aduine KSI na hogi basai try panji da pusoi ba production ginger powder, chili powder, turmeric powder, cinnamon powder, mithi jira powder, amadi hairi bo. Loinana sa masal amadi machalla powwa. Mayang manadaba packaging system so oiraba. Manipur da yan boina spices industry da ISO 9001-2000I amadi ISO 9001-2015 phangmada natana trademark su registration tawraba KSI gi product tam sizinabiu.
Sina khwai de hena pharena bonina pire imni
ima KSI product city yam phabane
TOM TV na adongi dama New Year gi oina offer pizari ba offer si LED TV 32 inch ama leibada Tata Sky ama free da hapchari TV AC hoji market ki rate da 14,500 piba TV ni hariba TV AC supnatagi 12,999 da offer pizari khudong chaba ase lobiyu akaknaba matamni tanjang ase manghan biganu TOM TV na laijari basi adongi damaktani.
Welcome back. You are watching Coffee with Tom, and the special guest we have today in our studio is Dr. Dominic Mao from Harvard University. Welcome to the show once again, Doctor.
Thank you.
We have talked about a lot of things. I would like to ask you, what are the differences in education system in Harvard University or anywhere else in the world and in Manipur or in India?
Right. I'm glad you asked that because I was just about to say, don't call me doctor. Just say, don't call me Dr. Mao or don't call me Dr. Dominic Mao. Just call me Dominic.
All right, that's more friendly.
It is more friendly. When I hear it, I don't get scared.
Okay.
And aduna first difference point out tauningi.
I see. Okay.
Aina PhD tamba chatpada aigi PhD advisor oigera any other faculty member oigera makoigi preference di call me by my name. Ay hamada di aigi cultural background di I need to call them sir or I need to call them by title. So it was a little unusual for me. Aina kitang habituated oidaba.
Okay.
But then I realized the reason is you reduce the barrier between the teacher and the student. Once you remove the barrier, the focus is only on the learning.
Okay.
Right? So I found it much easier to have a conversation with my superiors when these barriers are removed.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the main problems in the education system of Manipur, because the students let's talk about those students who are very scared and who are below average, and the IQ level is a little lesser than other counterparts. So they feel very shy asking questions to the teachers because of their shyness and because of some kind of barrier which we have over here. What do you think about that?
Those barriers certainly are there. It's not just Manipur, it's India in general that has a very colonial remnants authority figure like it's very prevalent. But aina tamba subject is science, right? And in science, there is no authority. You can be the head of the institute, but aigi data, aigi evidence na nang lale hai taragadi, you're wrong. There's no ego about it, right? So it's a very clear cut. It's just pursuit of truth and knowledge, and I experienced that really well. Aigi PhD advisor, aigi project discussed taukanda mana idea ama whiteboard ta mana outline taure matungda aina adudi smai tawi, but what about this point na sum point out tawa as mana yeah, you're absolutely right na chumchu eba khudakta. So the focus is just on taking that project forward,
right?
I really like that. I really enjoyed it. I PhD tawu matamda I had I think I had a lot of intellectual growth. I could really explore any idea that I wanted.
That's nice.
And that culture, that openness, I enjoyed tremendously, and that's one big difference that I saw. I know that, so the system that I'm talking about in terms of the Indian education system is from many years ago, because I finished my master's in 2004. So since then I've seen a lot of improvements when I go and talk to schools. There are many different schools with progressive ideas and things like that. So it's not, we're not just going to bash like the Indian education system.
Yes,
every
let's not do
system
that.
grows.
Yes. It is
Everybody is improving.
Yes.
And that's not to say that the education system in Harvard is perfect, right? It's just a scale. Everybody is trying to
but then Harvard
improve.
University is one of the top universities in the world. It's a fact.
That is a fact, yes.
And it's in United States of America, in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And it's really nice to have a lot of people from here, from Manipur, who are working in top universities, top field, maybe in the field of medical and any other field. It's an honor. We sometimes get very overwhelmed thinking about all this, and then we feel very proud as well. So we are very proud of you, and then you taking up developmental projects as the one like you are going to have in a few days. It's very surprising.
Yeah, I consider myself lucky. I mean, you have to understand there is this model for humanity. We all benefit from certain people who helped us. You are where you are because there were a few people who might have nudged you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, nangna mi karana mateng pange, you reached here. If you don't extend it, pay it forward. If you don't then mentor a few other people, then all those people who helped you, makoy effort to nangonda luway, right?
That's beautiful.
So you have to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, nobody wins.
Right.
Right? I consider myself very lucky. Aigidi vision namalay okay, I can bring Harvard students, and I've seen this program. There is a program like this that they do in Brazil. There are many programs in Harvard that are like this, right? Makoigi, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Makoigi model the lauraga aina modify to for Manipur. When I was trying to develop the program, Harvard ki chhatra singh, they had a lot of enthusiasm. I had only like 5 seats for the program. I had 40 applicants.
Okay.
And when I first was trying to propose the program, I was thinking, one of the things that I was a little afraid of was, will students be interested? They can go to Rome, or they can go anywhere. Why would they go to Manipur?
Right.
But it gives me a lot of joy and hope that 40 students from Harvard applied for just 5 slots, right?
That's huge.
And then I'm reaching out to people in Manipur. Lamjingba group, they stepped up as sponsors, right?
I see.
One of the conditions of my program is that it has to be free for all the students involved.
Right.
So when I reached out to Dr. R. K. Nimai, who is a retired IAS officer, and I said, you have your connections, are there people who are interested in sponsoring this kind of program? Lamjingba Group came out.
Okay.
But my conditions were very stringent, right? I'm saying,
Right.
we'll not have registration fees for the participants.
Okay.
All you need to know is you need to have, as a student, just the enthusiasm to learn, right? We got funding for Harvard students to come here, so even the Harvard students are coming here fully funded, you know. So I'm just trying to create an atmosphere where people can learn. And it is great that, you know, usually when people think, you know, it's a corporate or it is this, and then they just think, oh, they're just trying to make money. But that's not always true, because this is evidence of it, right?
Right.
Because there's no monetary returns here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like,
I can see that.
yeah, nobody's getting paid. It's just like, when I reached out to Lamjingba Group, they were like, what are your requirements? I was like, we need a projector. We need snacks for the team. We need, you know, so it was all structural funding. Right. And it's amazing. I mean, if you look at I didn't know, so Aina Manipur, Thado Matungda, when I was in Manipur, I left in '96. I don't think the company existed then. Right, because I didn't hear about it then.
Right.
So when Dr. Nimai told me about them, I had to Google them, you know. And if you Google and then you see, it makes me very optimistic. It's like a group of youngsters that are taking up this initiative to run the company, right? I communicated with Jackie. He's under 30. I think that's very impressive, right?
Very impressive.
Yeah, you're under 30, you're running a company and it's doing great. You know, it's all over the place.
Right.
And at the same time, you are invested in education. I don't think it gets better than that.
Absolutely. And I would like to mention that it's an honor for the Lamjingba Group as well. And I don't represent Lamjingba Group, and I'm saying that it must be an honor for Lamjingba Group as well to support in such a venture in the field of education. And like you said, it can't get any better than this.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I would like to come about one more topic, which is nostalgia. When you were working in the Harvard, did you ever miss Manipur, and how did you miss Manipur? Do you listen to Manipuri songs sometimes? I
miss Manipur all the time. It's not just at Harvard. When I moved in '96, I was in Gujarat. I missed Manipur even then. When I cook at home, I cook a lot of local dishes.
I see.
Hujiksu ay yumda ngari lay, hawai ja lay, umorsu lay, and it's just part of my system. So I always miss it. Back in the day, '96 we didn't have smartphones or anything like that, and you know, with friends it would be writing letters, you know, or talking, and that time we used to call it STD calls or whatever, you know, like.
Right.
And so that's how we would keep in touch, but now it's much easier. So akwai Don Bosco ki 1996 ki batch ki, we have a big WhatsApp group, and every day it's like I wake up in the United States and there are like 500 messages waiting for me, and it was just, I feel like we're kids again when I'm in that group.
Okay.
Right? So every day I get to feel nostalgic. Imanabasingna ayukta cherau sing karaga adagi selfie namaga tharakpa aina tum hogotpada lairambado yengbada, it's a good start to the day. Right? You're like, oh, Imanabasing lay adagi, you know, like just the fact that somebody remembers you from somewhere far away and they're like, Dominic nungari bra. That's enough, right, to make you feel good.
Beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
That's very nice. But I have a confusion here. You say that you cook local dishes, indigenous food. How do you manage to get all the ingredients?
Oh, I get it from here. I get it from here. I mean, there are some stuff that are available there, but they just don't have it in the quantity. Like, umorog se ghost pepper ka wayada.
Ghost pepper.
Bhut jolokia, Assamese ki bhut jolokia ki derivative.
Yeah, okay.
So ghost pepper ka way. But makoy adadi cooking the season a day. You know, if you look up YouTube and you put up ghost peppers, it will be like mama never sing challenge tong na ba nang whole ghost pepper sabang ngambra khotpra, like it's just, you know, but we use it for cooking, right? Like in the regular Manipuri household, you'll have ghost pepper used every day almost, right?
Yeah, we all have it.
So yeah, I can buy it from there, but they'll sell small packets with like 3 or 4 chilies in it.
You're saying that it's available over there as well?
It is available. It is available, but it's more viable to get it from here. So I get my friends to send it.
What about this soya bean Hawai jar? Everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was very impressed. I saw there were many local groups. There was a local group that is pickled yongcha ki achar. You know, like, so there are many that have aina Manipur Thatokan the 96 all these products were not there.
Right.
But Hujikti, like,
it
it's
would
very
have been
simple.
very difficult back then.
Yes. Aina khangapada ngari ju, there were no like proper wrapping. Have the chapu dagi che the khabar da yomaga lai baneva. Adu matamdadi.
Yeah.
But
now we have.
Now it's like all this.
You can send it across to any country.
Exactly.
Easily.
Aeroplane friendly packages, you know that.
Absolutely.
Leak tawdaba, khottaba, manam tholaktaba. Like it's all this, you know. Like, so now it is way easier.
Right.
So yeah.
That's very nice. Are you close to the art and culture of Manipur? And are you interested in music, you know, dance, or do you have any other hobby which is connected to Manipur?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because isai di am pamba mine. Isai pamba isai yam tare angang ori degi aina hujik lei ba imana ba miyuma ibani ju first night hek thungpaga like 4 or 5 hours ako isai khongmine. Guitar khonge.
I see.
Masters loira matung da 3 years aina break lauraga. Gujarat, I was in a rock and roll band, and before I went for my PhD. So
that's very nice. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I learned a lot, right?
Okay.
I learned a lot. In fact, me karana di isai tawwa haibisidi hanthana yengamba yai. I don't know, you know, but it taught me so many skills. Like one of my job interviews at Harvard, I was asked a question. Nangna khwaidagi chawba organizational skills sijinaba event se karambano describe to aina ko ada aina science position in aina, does it need to be about science, or can it be about anything that I've organized? Ada mohina, no, we just want to know, not science. And organize to giba nang sin giba.
Okay.
And then I said, I organized a concert.
Okay.
Sound, you know, ticket print over band mayam aduada. So, and that was considered as a very valuable point for me as a candidate.
Right. That's a different skill altogether.
Right. So it just, you can be excellent in a particular subject area, but if that's all you know, then you're not that valuable. Right? So they were trying to look for skills, like they want to see whether you adapt to wangambra adunatraga, like in an emergency, how do you, you know, and that emergencies like that happen all the time in concerts, you know.
That's right. So you're saying that you are very interested in music. I really regret that we don't have a guitar in the house right now. However,
I'm very happy to have a guitar in the house.
No, seriously, I would have really requested you to play something for us, for our viewers, because I am very interested in music myself. So
I've got to say that I recently, a friend of mine, my best friend actually from Manipur.
Okay.
I was telling him that Manipuri indigenous tunes, you know, like there are more people that are doing more commercial stuff than people who are doing indigenous stuff, and I heard some that did the fusion of Manipuri vocal styles, and it was beautiful. So I'm really happy that people are getting in that direction. It's a good direction to go.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, but then can you please sing us?
No, I can't sing. I would say that you also mentioned art and, you know, visual art I'm terrible at. I cannot draw to save my life. But I Don Bosco taming a scouts yarame. Scouts yaw was it a Calcutta chatle for a camp, Boscori camp.
Okay.
The camp chat pasida Manipur dagi represent our nina. We need to show the culture, you know. And AD team the yaram nina Aiju performance the Yahweh. The performance in the Kaino. Okay, Meitei Jaboy. Okay, I think we're a group of 8 boys, you know, like we're 14 or 15. Pajom Tauraga. So I did one dance performance that
Really?
only once in my life.
And
That's it.
What's that dance called?
I don't remember. See, I don't even know.
Is it some traditional?
It was
cultural-
traditional, yeah.
cultural,
It was certainly traditional. Was it?
It was not Kamba Thoibi.
Thoibi di yaudram na koi Nipan do. It cannot be Thoibi. Kamba Thoibi. I think was it Lai Har was koi khangde. So that for Boscori we did that dance. And adu tamme Don Bosco imanu mi ansanga steps to ko. And there was another performance that we did, and there was this song called Nungsibi Ima Manipur. You know, so we sang that song also. The performance was lousy though.
Do
I
you
have to
still
say.
remember the lyrics of that song?
It's been a long time now. No, I know you're going to ask me to sing. That's why I'm saying I don't remember the lyrics.
No, I would really love if you sing 1 or 2 lines of in Manipuri.
No, I'm going to have to pass. But so the reason why I say this is, so I remember the lyrics, like, but londo ay maiteron nangi, but vocabulary di vijay khars hole ko. Aduga mamata lonzo papat koi. So I.
You're still very good.
Thank you.
You don't have any accent while speaking Manipuri, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. There are some friends of mine. Yeah. There's some friends who disagree.
Yeah.
But,
sometimes like 0.001% it's there, but the 99.999% it's not there.
Okay. Well, it makes me happy that
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, you're
still
so
able to retain
connected
it.
with with your hometown.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you keep saying it like it is a very surprising thing, but you and me are the same in the sense that we were born here, we grew up here. If I send you anywhere else in the world, you will still be connected to me.
I will still.
So then,
keep
why is
missing
it
my
different
home.
for me? Why is it surprising when I'm connected? You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
completely
understand the whole
understand.
thing of Chinese and, you know, like,
Yeah.
adudi kitang unusual way, but yum have the yum. I'm simple way concept ni. Yum kanana kaong am doing.
Absolutely.
Right. So, yeah.
I have one very important question to ask. Is there anything at all in the state of Manipur that you would like to change, and what would that be?
I'm already doing it. I'm trying to change the education.
The education system. Well
Not to
said.
change the education system. So I've seen the students have a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, bring
right?
about improvement.
Yeah. Now, classrooms are important. The content they learn in classrooms are important. But you cannot just focus on the content alone. Right? You need to get a very holistic picture, right? Where things connect. Some the science stream, art stream, tongan stream, right? But science haiba wahi adugi art direct translation. Science is knowledge. So what that means is arts is also science. It's all part of knowledge.
Right.
Right. Science it's just a methodology.
Methodology.
Yeah. It's just a way of knowing. If you say something, let's say you make a claim that this leads to this, and then I'd be like, well, how do you know?
What is the science
Right.
of that?
Yeah, so I'll say, how do you know? And then you said, well, Sigi sentences sumagadi swine tokanda si tokani. Right? So there's a sentence, and the next step is a prediction. Sentences sumagadi si tokani. Adudi pare test taura se si taure si tokra toktabra.
Right.
Right? Toktre, you discard this. If prediction holds true, then you keep it. That becomes your knowledge.
Right.
Right? So it's a very simple concept. Science, it's not like physics, chemistry, biology. Like I see a lot of students who say, "Hey, uncle, hate the science, low, right?" But math's just a tool in science. But science itself is a history. The science is like the methodology, right? You study geography, you have to use the same methodology. It's the same thing. So, Shigi Chhatra Singda Aina, I want to give them that exposure, And the best way to do it is to get a bunch of students together and let them share.
That's beautiful. I would like to thank you very, very much, Dominic.
Yes, very good.
To have taken out the time to come to our studio and then interact in a brief conversation, I would say. We don't have much time, but then in the next meeting we will talk about more interesting things. Thank you very much for being a part of Coffee with Tom.
Pleasure
Thank you very
to be
much,
here.
Dominic. With this note, we are signing off. We will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with a new guest. Till then, goodbye.